Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Alejandro Garcia. I'm a student of the Faculty Distance Studies of the Senior Management Program. Next, I bring the support of the scientific text for this activity. The measures taken to mitigate of the COVID-19 and the pandemic in the European Union in the head of the President of the Commission, they were strict from the beginning and began with the border closure between the nation of the European Community. A new tariff regulation were established. Established for foreign and internal trade of the European Community. At the beginning, sometime was seen and coming that could not control it with the simple mitigation policy, but rather on the contrary, and the only machinery on the European Union will be needed. That is why the export trade of goods on the service outside the limit in the European Union was prohibited in order to avoid Storgate and the European Union, but was not prohibited the entry into the European Union of products such as artificial respirators and medicines and other first-line product to the combat the coronavirus on the COVID, which is why the IVA and the tax and the other tariff on the first line and the products to the combat on the COVID-19 were eliminated. This is important on the European Union and eliminate and the tariffs on the products. These measures were also taken across the globe in order to avoid domestic targets, but the WTO and the WHO called for not closing the supply lines to avoid the global target of food and medicines, as which resulted in a global trade continuing to the world and the worldwide. The worldwide decline and all cost. In all this aspect, with this the measure, the WT and WHO technically saved the world trade and kept those who did not want to cooperate at the buy. In Colombia, it was no difference. Signed in March 25 and the last year in 2020, the President Duque on duty with a strict and 40 decree at the national level, where public health policies will be used to prevent the spread of the virus. The closure of freight and the closure of the air trade and the trade maritime and the river trade in more than 90% done, and the national level was on one of the largest controversies to deal with the pandemic. It is clear that the economic reopening did not last long. At the first 2 months ago, the governments began to gradually release the trade in order to reactivity in the national economy. And finally, this pandemic and this COVID, this new coronavirus um, has brought all the bad and the worst and the humanity. Thank you.